great thing about using the Bokashi bucket is that it can recycle 100% of your food waste. That means everything from fruits, veggies, meat, which can be cooked or uncooked, bones, dairy product, or things like rice and pasta. Before we add any food scraps to the bucket, let's talk about what you can't put in. The only things that can't go into the Bokashi bucket are non-food items, such as glass, metals, or plastics. You also want to make sure that you don't put any liquids directly into the bucket. This doesn't mean that you can't put in things that are damp or wet. You just want to drain off any liquids and then add the solids into the bucket. You also don't want to add paper into your Bokashi bucket. A coffee filter or a damp paper towel here and there is just fine, but no dry or crumpled up paper goes inside of the bucket. When adding food waste to the bucket, it's important that you put in fresh waste only. If the food waste is spoiled or rotten, do not put it into the bucket because those bad microorganisms could compete with the good ones that we're putting in. Now, when adding food waste to the bucket, you can either add them one piece at a time, or you can collect them in some sort of bin throughout the day and add them in once a day. The advantage to adding them your food waste in all at once is that you're not opening the bucket frequently or not leaving the lid off too long, which can get oxygen in the bucket and ruin the anaerobic fermentation. Now it's time to start adding your food scraps to the bucket. Now, whether you're adding food scraps to the bucket one piece at a time or all at once, it's important that you don't exceed a 2-inch layer before moving on to the next steps. So let's go ahead and add some food scraps to the bucket. You're just going to dump everything in there that you got. And then you're going to take your masher, you're going to mix around your food waste, mash it down, and create a nice even layer. Once you've mashed everything down and you got a nice even layer, then you're going to start to add some more of the Bokashi activator mix. You're going to open up your jar. You're going to measure out 2 to 3 tablespoons, which is roughly a handful of Bokashi activator mix. Again, you're going to sprinkle your Bokashi activator mix right onto your layer of food waste. You can never add too much Bokashi activator mix, and sometimes you're going to need to add a little bit more when adding things inside your bucket like meat or dairy or any other strong proteins that are a little bit harder to break down. Key things to remember to doing this right is that you don't make your layers of food waste too thick. If you exceed 2 inches, you run the risk of the Bokashi not penetrating deep enough to start breaking down the food waste deeper inside of the bucket. So after you put your Bokashi onto your food waste, you're going to want to make sure that you close your lid nice and tight. Now, if for some reason that you haven't gotten the 2 inches of food waste for the day, there's no need to worry. I recommend at the end of the day, just adding on a sprinkle of Bokashi activator mix, and that'll keep the fermentation process going. Another great thing about the Bokashi bucket is that it doesn't require a lot of maintenance. If you're going to be leaving for a week or two, or maybe even longer, just make sure that you give your food waste a good mash, sprinkle some Bokashi mix on top, and you can be on your way. Fermentation process will still occur while you're gone, and when you get back, you can pick up where you left off. It's important to remember to keep your lid on nice and tight. This way, air doesn't get in and ruin the anaerobic conditions going on inside.